Tomorrow was supposed to be my wedding day. I was driving to pick up Crystal for her final dress fitting when I saw it at a stoplight. She was on the arm of a strange man, walking intimately into the Crossroads Motel. I froze for 3 seconds, then I grabbed my phone and took a picture. My name is Jackson Ford, but everyone calls me Jack. I'm 28, and I own the Maple Leaf Grill in my hometown of Maple Creek. Business is good. We clear a few $1,000s on a decent day. Tomorrow, I was supposed to marry my high school sweetheart, Crystal White. We grew up together. She's 2 years younger than me, beautiful, the kind of girl everyone in town knew. 3 years ago, I proposed, and she said yes. For these past 3 years, I've been getting everything ready for our life together. The restaurant, the house, the truck, the whole 9 yards. Crystal wanted a huge wedding, the kind that would make everyone in Maple Creek jealous. I told her, whatever makes you happy. This afternoon, I was supposed to meet her for the final fitting of her wedding dress. I pulled up to the bridal shop and gave her a call. Hey, Crystal, I'm here. Where are you? Oh, Jack, I'm so sorry. Something came up. I'm going to be a little late. What's so urgent? It's just, a friend is leaving town, and I wanted to see him off. A friend? What friend wouldn't I know about? We've lived in this small town our whole lives. I know pretty much all of her friends. Which friend? Do I know him? No, you don't. He's an artist. He was in town for a few weeks doing some landscape painting. He leaves tomorrow. An artist? It was true that Crystal had been going out a lot over the past 2 months. She said she was taking painting classes to, in her words, cultivate her soul. All right, well, you go ahead. We can do the fitting another time. Thanks, Jack. I'll be back soon. After hanging up, I was going to head back to the grill. But for some reason, I felt a knot in my stomach. I drove around town, thinking about maybe finding her and saying a quick hello. As I passed the main intersection downtown, the light turned red. I stopped, glancing over at the sidewalk. And then I saw something I'll never forget. Crystal was holding onto the arm of a man I'd never seen before, walking closely together. He was handsome in a bohemian way, with a white linen shirt and slightly long hair. This had to be the artist she mentioned. They were laughing, and Crystal's face was lit up with a kind of happiness I hadn't seen in a long time. I watched them walk into the Crossroads Motel. It was a place you went for one reason. My hand started to shake. The light turned green, and the car behind me honked. I mechanically hit the gas, pulled over to the side of the road, and took out my phone. I sent Crystal a text. Hey, where are you? She replied almost instantly. At the coffee shop, just chatting with my friend. The coffee shop? I had just watched her walk into a motel. I typed another message. Which one? I could bring you a snack. This time, her reply was slow. Don't worry about it. We're about to leave anyway. I stared at the screen, a bitter taste filling my mouth. We had more than 20 years of history, a 3-year engagement, and a wedding tomorrow. And she was lying to my face. I drove back to the grill and spent the rest of the afternoon in a daze. Boss, what's wrong? My waitress Maria asked. You look terrible. It's nothing. Just tired. You should be excited. Tomorrow's your big day. My big day? I forced a bitter smile. What kind of big day is it when your bride is shacked up with another man the day before? At 7 o'clock, Crystal came back. Her cheeks were flushed, and her eyes had a certain glow. Jack, sorry to keep you waiting. It's fine. Did you see your friend off? Yep, he's gone. She wouldn't quite meet my eyes. What was his name? The artist. Julian Croft. He's incredibly talented. Julian Croft. I burned the name into my memory. What does he paint? Landscapes, portraits, everything. He said I was beautiful, that I had a unique quality, and he wanted to paint me. Did he? He did. He said it was the best piece he'd ever done. I saw the sparkle in her eyes, and a chill went down my spine. I'm not an idiot. I know what it means when a man tells a woman he wants to paint her, that she's his greatest masterpiece. Where's the painting? He took it with him. As a memento. A memento, right? A memento of what? Exactly? Crystal, I said, my voice strained. Tomorrow is our wedding. Are you happy? She hesitated for a second before nodding. Of course I am. We're finally getting married. But her eyes told a different story. We sat on the couch for a bit before she said she was tired and wanted to go home. It's a big day tomorrow. I need my beauty sleep. Okay, I'll drive you. I dropped her off at her parents' house. Before getting out, she gave me a quick, perfunctory kiss on the cheek. See you tomorrow, Jack. See you tomorrow. I watched her go inside, then sat in my truck and lit a cigarette. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. I thought it was Crystal, but when I opened it, the message stopped my heart. Jack, I'm sorry to contact you this way. This is Julian Croft. I think you should seriously reconsider tomorrow's wedding. Julian Croft? The artist had my number? I immediately called him back. This is Julian. It is. His voice was smooth and confident. What do you want? I think there are some things you need to know. About what? About Crystal. My heart hammered against my ribs. What about her? Jack, you're a good guy. But Crystal, she doesn't love you. What the hell are you talking about? She's been seeing me for the last 2 months. This afternoon, we were together. Enough. I hung up, my hand trembling so badly, I almost dropped the phone. The wedding was tomorrow. The invitations were sent. Hundreds of people from town were coming. What was I supposed to do? My phone rang again. Julian. I ignored it. He sent another text. Jack, I know you don't believe me, but as a man, I felt I had to tell you the truth. Crystal told me she doesn't want to marry you, but doesn't know how to call it off. I told her to be honest with you, but she's afraid. Are you sure you want to go through with this? I stared at the words, my mind going blank. Doesn't want to marry me? Afraid to be honest? And that afternoon at the motel, I thought of the glow on her face when she came back. The pain was like a physical blow. I crushed the cigarette into the ashtray and drove home. It was going to be a long, sleepless night. I had to figure out what to do about tomorrow. I didn't sleep a wink. At 6 in the morning, I was up. Today was my wedding day, supposed to be the most important day of my life. Now it felt like I was walking to my own execution. I had a dozen missed calls on my phone, all from Julian, and more texts. Jack, I know you're furious, but please hear me out. Crystal says you've always protected her, but she feels you're more like a brother. There's no romance. She says she feels safe with you, but there's no passion. I don't want to hurt you, but I love her and she loves me. Reading those words, my heart turned to ice. So that's all it was. 20+ years of history, just brotherly affection in her eyes. No pasión. She loves someone else. But why didn't she tell me? Why wait until the day before the wedding? Why let me be humiliated in front of the entire town? I called Julian back. I want to see you. Now. Okay. The usual place. My studio by the creek. Studio? He had a studio in town? I drove down to the creek and found a small building with a sign that read Croft Studio. It used to be an abandoned warehouse. I had no idea when it had been converted. I pushed the door open. The space was artsy and well lit, filled with canvases, mostly landscapes of our town. Julian was standing in front of a painting. He turned as I walked in. You came. It was my first time seeing him up close. He was handsome, with that classic, brooding artist look. I could see why Crystal was drawn to him. That painting, is that Crystal? I asked, looking at the canvas behind him. It was the back of a woman washing clothes by the creek. Even from behind, I recognized her instantly. Yes, he said, his voice laced with guilt. It's beautiful. I stepped closer to examine it. Crystal was in a flowing white dress, her hair loose. She looked ethereal. But the angle, the pose. When did you paint this? Last month. When did she come here? Almost every afternoon. She told me she was taking painting classes. I never imagined she was coming here for private sessions. How far have things gone between you? The question was humiliating to ask, but I had to know. Julian looked at me, silent for a few moments. Jack, man to man, I'm not going to lie to you. Just say it. We're together. I had prepared myself for it, but hearing the words was like a punch to the gut. How long? A month. For the past month, Crystal had been kissing me goodnight, telling me she loved me, saying she couldn't wait for our wedding. And during the day, she was with him. Why didn't she tell me? She said she didn't know how. You two grew up together. She didn't want to hurt you. Didn't want to hurt me? What did she call this? What else did she say? She said she's always seen you as a brother, that she never had romantic feelings for you. She didn't know how to turn down your proposal, so she just kept putting it off. So that was it. Our 3-year engagement was just her stalling for time. And the wedding today, she doesn't want to go through with it. But she's afraid you'll be angry, afraid of what people in town will say. I let out a bitter laugh. So she'd rather marry a man she doesn't love than tell the truth? Jack, she said she would try to be a good wife. It's just that her heart belongs to someone else. Julian nodded. I walked around the studio. In a corner, I saw several more canvases, all of Crystal. Different angles, different poses. some clothed and some not. These two, yes. My throat went dry. She let you paint these? She said she'd never felt so seen, so appreciated. Appreciated. So all my years of love and care didn't count as appreciation. Julian, what do you want? I want to take her with me. Where? To the city. I have a studio there. We can start over. Does she agree? She's hesitating. She says she doesn't want to humiliate you. Doesn't want to humiliate me? Did she think about that when she was with you at the motel yesterday? When were you planning on leaving? It was supposed to be today, but with the wedding. So you called me. Yes. I felt it wasn't fair to you. Looking at the man who stole my fiancée, I had the strange thought that he was more honest than she was. At least he had the guts to tell me the truth. Jack, I know you're angry and you're in a lot of pain, but if you really love her, you should let her choose. Choose? I scoffed. She had 26 years to choose. Why did she pick the day before our wedding to finally do it? Julian had no answer. I pulled out my phone and called Crystal. Crystal, where are you? I'm at home, getting ready. The makeup artist will be here soon. I need you to come out. I have to talk to you. Now. But. Now. It's important. Okay. Where should I meet you? I glanced at Julian. The usual place. After hanging up, I told Julian, make yourself scarce. I want to talk to her alone. Right. He disappeared into a back room and shut the door. 10 minutes later, Crystal arrived. She was wearing a white sundress, her hair perfectly styled. She was beautiful, but when I looked at her now, all I saw was a stranger. Jack, how did you know about this place? She asked, her expression panicked. Julian told me. The color drained from her face. You've seen him? I have. What did he tell you? Everything. I looked her straight in the eye. Crystal, is there anything you want to say to me? She looked down, unable to meet my gaze. Jack, just say it. I already know. She was silent for a long time. Finally, she looked up, her eyes welling with tears. I am sorry. That was it. 3 words. 26 years of friendship, a 3-year engagement, a wedding just hours away. All brushed aside with 3 words. Sorry for what? I am sorry. I cheated on you. When did it start? A month ago. What? I don't know. He made me feel something different. Something different. And what about us? Jack, you're a good man. You're a great man. But I think we're more like brother and sister. She nodded. So you'd rather cheat on me than just be honest? I didn't know how to tell you. I was afraid of hurting you. And this doesn't hurt me? She started to cry. Jack, I know I messed up. I just don't know what to do. Watching her cry, I felt a strange mix of emotions. Anger, pain, and a sliver of relief. If she didn't love me, forcing a marriage would be a disaster for both of us. Crystal, do you still want to have the wedding today? She looked up at me, surprised. You're not angry. I am furious. But more than that, I want to know what you want. I don't. She finally said it. Then what do you want to do? I want to leave with Julian. Julian. She said his name so easily, so intimately. When are you leaving? Today. And the wedding? I don't know. I took a deep breath. Okay. I get it. Jack, you should go. Pack your bags and leave this town with your Julian. She stared at me, stunned. You're really letting me go? What choice do I have? You can't force these things. But the wedding? I'll handle it. She stood up, walked to the door, then turned back. Jack, thank you. Don't thank me. She left. Julian emerged from the back room. Thank you for doing this. Get out. Jack, I know you hate me, but I really do love her. I said get out. He grabbed the painting of Crystal off the wall and hurried out. I sat alone in the studio, staring at the empty walls. Today was supposed to be my wedding day. Now my bride was gone, run off with another man. How was I going to face everyone in town? How was I going to face all our guests? My phone rang. It was my mom. Jack, honey, has the makeup artist arrived yet? What time are you picking up the bride? Mom, what's wrong? You sound so down. The wedding's off. What? I looked out the window at the bright morning sun, feeling more conflicted than I ever had in my life. 3. When my mom heard the wedding was canceled, she nearly fainted. Jack, are you kidding me? It's your wedding day. I'm not kidding, Mom. Crystal doesn't want to get married. Why? Weren't you two fine? I didn't know how to explain it. She said she's not ready. Not ready. You've been engaged for 3 years. Mom, I'll handle this. Please, just don't worry. Don't worry. The guests are going to start arriving any minute. The catering is all set. How can I not worry? I knew how much had gone into this wedding. We'd booked the best venue in the county and invited 200 people. The food, the drinks, the decorations, it was all adding up to over $20,000. That wasn't a small amount for me, but the money was nothing compared to the humiliation. Mom, please start calling our family and tell them the wedding is postponed. Postponed? Until when? I didn't know what to say. Crystal was gone for good. There was nothing to postpone. Just say that for now. I hung up and drove home. On the way, a few neighbors saw me and waved. Big day, Jack. You're a lucky man, marrying a girl like Crystal. I could only manage a tight-lipped smile and nod. When I got home, the yard is already decorated. Red and white ribbons, a big congratulations banner. It all looked so festive. Mom was directing a few relatives who were setting things up. She rushed over as soon as she saw me. Jack, what is going on? What did her parents say? They don't know yet. Then you need to get over to her house and talk to her. She's probably just got cold feet. A lot of girls get nervous before the wedding. Cold feet. If only it were that simple. I already talked to her, Mom. It's no use. Then why won't she marry you? I looked at all the festive decorations, a hollow feeling growing in my chest. She said she doesn't love me. My mom froze. Doesn't love you? Then why did she say yes? Why stay engaged for 3 years? That was the question I kept asking myself. I don't know, Mom. This is ridiculous. I'm going over there to talk some sense into her. She turned to leave, but I stopped her. Mom, don't. It's over. She's made her decision. What decision? She's leaving town to move somewhere else. It wasn't a lie. She was moving, just not alone. My mom sank into a patio chair, looking completely lost. What are we going to do? People are going to be here any minute. I checked my watch. It was already 10 in the morning. The plan was to pick up Crystal at 11:30 for the ceremony at noon. We had less than 2 hours. Mom, you need to call everyone and tell them the wedding is canceled. Canceled? How can I say something so embarrassing? She was right. It was humiliating. The groom being left at the altar. I'd be the town laughingstock for the rest of my life. Then what do you suggest we do? I asked. She thought for a moment. What if we say Crystal got sick? That the wedding is postponed? For how long? A month. I shook my head. Mom, I have to be honest with you. Crystal doesn't just not want to get married. She doesn't want to marry me. She's with someone else. My mom's face turned pale, then red with fury. What? She cheated on you? Yeah, that shameless little tramp. After everything you've done for her. Mom's voice grew louder with every word. Our next-door neighbor, Mrs. Gable, heard the commotion and poked her head over the fence. Everything all right over there? What's the matter? I try to play it cool. It's nothing, Mrs. Gable, just a small issue. A small issue? Isn't today Jack's wedding? My mom was shaking with rage. What wedding? That Crystal girl ran off with another man. Mom, I tried to stop her, but it was too late. Mrs. Gable's jaw dropped. What? Crystal cheated? And that was it. Mrs. Gable was the biggest gossip in Maple Creek. By noon, the entire town would know. Sure enough, within half an hour, my phone was blowing up. Relatives, friends, everyone was calling. Jack, is it true Crystal took off? Jack, I heard the wedding is off. What happened? I explained the situation over and over until my throat was raw. Finally, I just turned my phone off. At 11:30, the manager of the venue called. Mr. Ford, the guests are starting to arrive. What time should we begin serving? It's postponed. Postponed. Yeah, we're not doing it today. And the deposit. According to the contract, a same-day cancellation meant the deposit was non-refundable. $10,000 gone just like that. But I was past caring about the money. Keep the deposit. I hung up and went to my room, feeling utterly exhausted. I hadn't slept since the night before last. I just wanted some peace and quiet. Knock, knock, knock. Someone was at the front door. Jack, open up. It was Crystal's dad. I opened the door to find both her parents standing there. Mr. White looked furious, and Mrs. White was crying. Jack, what's this I hear about Crystal? Her mother said she ran off with some man. It seemed Crystal had told her family after all. Mr. White, this whole thing is... Where is she? I need to see her. She's already gone. Gone? Gone where? I don't know. Mr. White's face turned purple with rage. That shameless girl. How could I have raised such a daughter? Mrs. White's sobs grew louder. Jack, I am so sorry. We spoiled Crystal rotten her whole life, and now she does this. On behalf of our family, I apologize. She started to bow, as if to kneel. I quickly caught her. Mrs. White, please don't. Jack, you're a good boy. Our family has failed you. Mr. White was still fuming. I'm going to find her. I'll break her legs, I swear. Mr. White, please calm down. Calm down? How can I calm down? The whole town knows. How can I show my face anywhere? He was right. This was a huge blow to their family's reputation, too. Crystal was their only daughter, their pride and joy. Running out on her wedding was a profound disgrace. Mrs. White wiped her tears. Jack, just tell us what to do. Do you want us to compensate you for the wedding costs, or... Mrs. White, please don't say that. You can't force feelings. But you were engaged for 3 years. How could she change her mind just like that? I wished I knew. Maybe I knew her too well, and there was no mystery left. Maybe I spoiled her too much, and she took it all for granted. Or maybe we were never right for each other, and it just took this long to realize it. Mr. and Mrs. White, let's just let it be. Please don't be too hard on Crystal. Maybe she had her reasons. Mr. White looked at me, his eyes filled with shame. Jack, you're a good kid. It's our Crystal who doesn't know what she has. After they left, I sat alone in my room, staring into space. The festive decorations outside were a cruel joke. My mom came in, holding a small velvet box. Jack, this was your grandmother's necklace. I was going to give it to Crystal after the ceremony. Now, looking at the box, I was flooded with memories. When we were kids, Crystal used to follow me everywhere, calling me Jackie. As we got older, she said she wanted to be my bride. The day I proposed, she cried and said she wanted to grow old with me. Now, all of that was just smoke. Put it away, Mom. Jack, don't you hate her? Hate? Of course I did. But more than hate, I felt a deep sense of disappointment and confusion. Hate won't do any good, Mom. If she doesn't love me, there's no point in forcing it. So what will you do now? Yeah, what now? I was 28, which in a town like Maple Creek felt old for a single guy. After a fiasco like this, what girl would ever want to marry me? Mom, I just need a rest. It's been a long couple of days. Lying on my bed, I thought about what Julian had said. That Crystal felt we were more like siblings, that there was no passion. Maybe he was right. We grew up together, and maybe that comfortable familiarity had smothered any real romance. Maybe I treated her more like a sister to be protected than a woman to love. Maybe this was a blessing in disguise for both of us. My phone rang. An unknown number. I answered. It was Julian. Jack, we're leaving now. Okay. Crystal wanted me to thank you for letting her go. Don't mention it. And I'm sorry. I was silent for a moment. Julian, you better treat her right. If you ever hurt her, I swear I'll find you. I will. He hung up. I knew then that Crystal was truly gone. She probably wasn't ever coming back. 26 years of my life, gone in a flash. 3 days after Crystal left, the town was still buzzing. People kept stopping by the house, some to offer sympathy, others just digging for gossip. I couldn't take it anymore. On the 4th day, I packed a bag and drove to Columbus. My cousin, Brandon, lived there and worked for some logistics company. I figured I could crash with him for a few days until things died down back home. Jack, what are you doing here? Brandon was shocked to see me. Weren't you supposed to be getting married today? Don't ask. Wedding's off. What? What? I gave him a short version. When I was done, he slapped me on the shoulder. Man, you're better off without a woman like that. Easy for you to say. I can't even show my face in Maple Creek right now. Then don't go back. What do you mean? Stay in Columbus. Start over here. Your restaurant was a hit back home, right? You could open something here, maybe even bigger. Brandon's words sparked something in me. It was true. The Maple Leaf Grill had been a success. The food was good, and I had a great reputation. If I opened a place in the city, I don't have any experience here. I don't know the market. That's not a problem. I can help you scope things out, find a location. I spent the next week in Columbus, exploring different neighborhoods and checking out the restaurant scene. There was definitely an opportunity. The city had plenty of restaurants, but not many focused on classic American comfort food, and the ones that did were mostly mediocre chains. My cooking, which was a standout in Maple Creek, could definitely compete here. After a week, I made my decision. I would go back home, sell the grill, and start fresh in the city. When I returned to Maple Creek, the way people looked at me was different. Some were sympathetic, others were curious, and a few were definitely gloating. I did my best to avoid everyone and focus on selling the restaurant. It didn't take long to find a buyer. A local businessman, Mr. Thompson, who owned a few other establishments in town, was interested. "Jack, your place does great business. Why sell?" "I'm looking to move out of state." I lied. "This about the crystal white thing. I didn't want to get into it." "Mr. Thompson, if you're interested, let's talk numbers." He was a straight shooter. I asked for $150,000, and he agreed on the spot. That price covered the equipment, the renovations, and the remaining 3 years on the lease. It felt like I was selling it for cheap, but I just wanted to get out of there as fast as possible. With the paperwork signed, I started packing up my life. That's when my mom came to me. "Jack, I hear you're moving to Columbus?" "Yeah. Why? What's wrong with living at home?" "Mom, I can't live here anymore. I'm too embarrassed." "It was Crystal's fault, not yours." "I know that, but that's not how other people see it." And it was true. On the surface, everyone felt sorry for me, but I knew that behind my back, they were saying I was the guy who couldn't keep his woman. "So what will you do in Columbus?" "Open another restaurant." Brandon found me a good spot. My mom looked worried. "It's a big city. How will you manage all alone?" "Mom, I'm 28. I'm not a kid anymore." Then your father and I will move with you." "No, you've lived here your whole lives. You wouldn't be happy in the city. But I'm worried about you being alone." Seeing the anxiety on her face made my heart ache. But I couldn't stay. Facing those pitying looks every day was driving me crazy. "Mom, I'll come back to visit all the time. It's only a 2-hour drive." Eventually, she agreed. Before I left, I stopped by Crystal's parents' house to say goodbye. When Mrs. White saw me, she started crying again. "Jack, we are so sorry for what our family did to you." "Please, Mrs. White, don't say that. That girl, we haven't heard a word from her since she left. We have no idea how she is." It had been over 2 weeks, and Crystal hadn't even called her own parents. Even I thought that was cold. No matter what, these were the people who raised her. "She'll be back, Mrs. White." "So you're really moving to the city?" "Yeah, a new start." "Jack, you're a good man. You'll find a much better girl someday." I just smiled. Right now, I had zero interest in dating. It was time to focus on my career. After leaving their house, I took one last drive around town. This place held so many memories. My elementary school, the park where Crystal and I had our first date, the coffee shop where I proposed. Everywhere I looked, I saw a ghost of our life together. But that was all in the past now. It was time for a new life. In Columbus, Brandon had already found me the perfect storefront. It was in a great location near a new apartment complex with a lot of foot traffic. The rent was reasonable, too. I was thrilled. The next month was a blur of renovations, buying equipment, and hiring staff. Finally, the new restaurant was ready. I kept the name, the Maple Leaf Grill, but this one was twice the size of the original. On opening day, we were busy right from the start. People from the neighborhood came to check us out, and everyone loved the food. For the first time in a while, my spirits started to lift. Maybe leaving Maple Creek was the right move. Here, nobody knew my story. Nobody looked at me with pity in their eyes. I could truly start over. In our first month, the restaurant did $50,000 in revenue, more than double what I was making back home. I knew I had made the right choice. The second month, a young woman came in to apply for a server position. Her name was Sarah Chun. She was 23 and had just moved to the city to find work. She had a sweet, genuine smile and a bright, energetic personality. I hired her on the spot. Sarah was a natural. She was hardworking, smart, and learned the ropes quickly. The customers loved her. She often stayed late without being asked, helping me with inventory and closing the books. "Mr. Ford, you're amazing," she said one night. "Opening a big restaurant like this all by yourself. It's just Jack. And I'm getting by. Do you have a girlfriend?" The question caught me off guard. "Why do you ask?" "Just curious. A great guy like you must have someone." I gave a bitter laugh. "I used to. Not anymore." "You broke up." Something like that. She didn't press further, but I saw the genuine concern in her eyes. It was the first time since I'd moved to the city that a woman had shown any interest in me. I won't lie, it felt good, but I wasn't ready to even think about another relationship. The wound from Crystal was still too raw. I needed time to heal. By the third month, business was booming. I was already thinking about opening a second location. That's when Sarah came to me with a request. "Jack, I want to learn how to cook." "Why?" "I want to open my own restaurant someday. But I know being a good server isn't enough. I need to know my way around a kitchen." Her ambition and seriousness reminded me of myself when I was first starting out. All right, I can teach you, but it's hard work. You have to be prepared. I'm not afraid of hard work. From that day on, Sarah stayed late every night to learn from me in the kitchen. She had a natural talent for it and learned incredibly fast. She was meticulous, asking questions about every little detail, and in the process of teaching her, I started to find a joy I thought I had lost. Maybe my new life was finally beginning. 5. Sarah had been training with me in the kitchen for 2 months. Her progress was amazing. She could already handle all the basic dishes on our menu. Better yet, she was creative, often suggesting new twists or improvements. "Jack, what if we added a little smoked paprika to the mac and cheese?" she suggested one evening. Smoked paprika? I'd never thought of that. Let's give it a try. The result was incredible. It added a subtle, smoky depth that our customers went crazy for. I started to realize Sarah wasn't just a student. She was becoming a true partner. One night, as we were cleaning up the kitchen, she asked out of the blue, "Jack, what was your old girlfriend like?" The knife in my hand paused over the cutting board. "Why do you ask?" "I'm just curious. I can't imagine what kind of woman would let a great guy like you go." I let out a dry laugh. She said I was boring. Boring? "I think you're one of the most interesting people I've ever met." "Really?" "Of course. You can cook amazing food, you have a great sense of humor, and you take such good care of your staff. I think any woman will be lucky to be with you." Her words hit me in a strange way. Crystal had never said anything like that. In her eyes, I was just the stable, passionless guy. "Sarah, thank you. I mean it," she said, looking at me with a special kind of light in her eyes. I knew what it meant, but I just wasn't ready. "It's getting late, Sarah. You should head home." "Okay." Her disappointment was visible, but she packed up her things to leave. At the door, she turned back. "Jack, if you ever want someone to have dinner with, or just to talk, you can always call me." She blushed and hurried out. I stood alone in the kitchen, my mind a mess. Sarah was a wonderful girl, young, kind, and incredibly driven. If I hadn't gone through what I did with Crystal, I probably would have fallen for her in a heartbeat. But the shadow of that betrayal still loomed over me. I didn't know what to do. The next day, Sarah was a little awkward around me, probably embarrassed about being so direct. I didn't bring it up, and we both acted like nothing had happened. But I could feel a shift in the air between us. During the lunch rush, a customer started making a scene, claiming he found a hair in his soup. I immediately went over, apologized, and had a fresh bowl made for him. But he wouldn't let it go. "Your hygiene standards are disgusting. I'm reporting you to the health department." "Sir, again, I am very sorry. We will be more careful." "More careful? You think this is something you can just fix? You people are a menace." He was getting louder, and other customers were starting to stare. Sarah couldn't stand it anymore. She walked right up to his table. "Sir, you're being unreasonable. My boss has apologized and replaced your meal. What more do you want?" "What more do I want? I want to see this place shut down." "Then file your complaint. But stop harassing us." The man, red-faced and sputtering, slammed his fist on the table. "I'm reporting you to the Better Business Bureau. You'll be out of business in a week." He stormed out. After he left, Sarah was still fuming. What a jerk. He was obviously just trying to get a free meal. "Sarah, calm down. In the restaurant business, you get all kinds. But I can't stand seeing people walk all over you like that." Seeing her so worked up on my behalf warmed something inside me. Crystal never would have stood up for me like that. Her motto was always "don't make waves." But Sarah was different. She got angry for me. It felt good. That evening, I took Sarah out to dinner as a thank you. "Sarah, thanks for what you did today." "Don't thank me. It's my job." "Why do you say that?" She blushed. Because I care about you." "Sarah." "Jack, I know you're not over your ex-girlfriend, but I want you to know that you deserve someone better." I looked into her sincere eyes and felt a deep sense of gratitude. "Sarah, you're a really great girl. Then will you give me a chance?" "A chance for what?" "A chance to take care of you. I'm not asking you to love me right now. I just want to be by your side, for whenever you're ready." Her words stunned me. Crystal had never wanted to take care of me. She always expected me to take care of her. But Sarah was different. She was thinking about me. "Sarah, you don't have to answer me right now. I just wanted you to know how I feel." We didn't practice in the kitchen that night. I drove her home, and we were both quiet. When we got to her apartment, she turned to me before getting out. "Jack, whatever you decide, I'll respect it. But I'm not giving up. Watching her determined figure walk away, my mind was racing. Maybe I should try to accept someone new into my life. Maybe Sarah really was a better match for me than Crystal ever was. I went home and thought about it for a long time. Crystal had given me nothing but pain and betrayal. Sarah offered warmth and support. Maybe it was time to look forward instead of living in the past. The next day, I decided to give Sarah a chance, and to give myself one too. Sarah, I said, catching her before her shift started, about what you said yesterday. I've been thinking. Jack, if you don't mind my baggage, I'm willing to give this a try. Her eyes instantly filled with joy. Really? But I have to be honest. I can't promise anything right now. All I can say is I'm willing to try and open my heart again. That's enough. That's more than enough. Tears of happiness streamed down her face. In that moment, I felt my own frozen heart begin to thaw. Maybe, just maybe, my new life was truly about to begin. From that day on, things between me and Sarah changed. We were still boss and employee, but we started to act like a couple. She'd bring me coffee in the morning. I'd drive her home at night. She'd remind me to take a break. I'd take her shopping for a new pair of shoes. It felt natural and comfortable. There was none of the pressure or anxiety I'd felt with Crystal. A month later, business was better than ever, and I started planning for a second location. Sarah had become my right-hand woman, managing the front of the house and helping me with countless other tasks. So, where are we thinking for the second location? She asked one night. There's a great spot downtown in the commercial district. We'll need to hire more staff then. I want you to be in charge of hiring. Watching her work so diligently, I became more and more certain that she was the one for me. She didn't just understand my ambition. She shared it. That was something Crystal could never give me. That evening, we were planning the decor for the new restaurant. What kind of vibe should we go for? I asked. I think we should make it feel cozy, like a home. Why's that? Because when people eat out, what they're often missing is the taste of home. If we can give our customers that warm, familiar feeling, I think we'll be a huge success. Her insight impressed me. Crystal never cared about my business, only about what it could provide for her. But Sarah genuinely cared about our success. Sarah, you're absolutely right. We'll make it feel like home. Great. I'll start looking for designers tomorrow. Sounds good. Seeing her so excited, an impulse took over me. Sarah, yeah, I want to ask you something. What is it? If I were to ask you to marry me, what would you say? She froze for a second. Then her eyes lit up with disbelief and joy. Are you serious? I'm serious. Then my answer is, yes. She threw her arms around my neck and started to cry. In that moment, I knew I had made the right choice. Sarah wasn't Crystal. What she gave me was real love. And I was finally ready to leave the past behind and embrace my future. 6 news that Sarah and I were engaged made its way back to Maple Creek and caused quite a stir. Jack found a new girlfriend that fast? I hear she's really young. I wonder how she compares to Crystal. My mom called, her voice buzzing with excitement. Jack, is it true you're getting married? We're engaged, Mom. What's the girl like? When are you bringing her home for us to meet? She's wonderful. I'll bring her down in a few days. That's fantastic. I was so worried you'd never get over that whole business with Crystal. She was right. If it hadn't been for Sarah, I might still be stuck in that dark place. That weekend, I drove Sarah to Maple Creek to meet my parents. She was a bundle of nerves. Jack, what if your parents don't like me? They will. I promise. They'll love you. But I don't have a college degree. I don't come from a fancy family. Sarah, I love you for who you are, not for your resume. She nodded, but I could tell she was still anxious. When we got to the house, my mom had a huge dinner spread waiting for us. The second she laid eyes on Sarah, her face lit up. Oh, you must be Sarah? You're even prettier in person. It's so nice to meet you, Mrs. Ford, Sarah said politely, handing her a gift basket. Honey, you didn't have to bring a thing. Come in, sit down. It was clear my mom already adored her. During dinner, Mom kept piling food onto Sarah's plate. Sarah, you're too thin. Eat up. Thank you, Mrs. Ford. So, Jack tells me you two are running the restaurants together in Columbus? Yes, I'm learning to cook from Jack, and I help manage the front of the house. That's wonderful. A couple that works together stays together. I knew there was a subtle dig at Crystal, who had never shown the slightest interest in my work. So, when's the big day? Mom asked. Sarah blushed and looked at me. We haven't set a date yet. I was thinking this fall, I said. Perfect. And this time, we're going to do it right. A huge celebration. Mom was clearly still smarting from the last wedding fiasco and wanted a do-over. After dinner, my mom pulled Sarah aside for a chat. I overheard bits of their conversation. Sarah, Jack is a good boy. He just got hurt badly by that other girl. You'll need to be patient with him. I know, Mrs. Ford. Jack is wonderful to me, and I'll always cherish him. That's good to hear. I knew you were a good one the moment I saw you. 100 times better than Crystal. Hearing my mom say that filled me with warmth. Sarah had completely won her over. That night, we stayed in my old bedroom. Sarah sat on the edge of the bed, looking through my childhood photo albums. Jack, you were so cute as a kid. You think so? Definitely. Like a little angel. She flipped to a picture of me and Crystal, and her expression flickered. Is this her? Yeah. She's very beautiful. I took the photo album from her and set it aside. Let's not dwell on the past. Jack, I don't mind your past. Everyone has one. What matters is the here and now. Her understanding meant the world to me. The next day, we took a walk around town. Everyone I knew stared at us, curious. Jack, is this your new girlfriend? She's my fiancée. We're getting married. Wow, she's a looker. Even prettier than Crystal. The comment was a bit over the top, but it still made me smile. As we passed Crystal's parents' house, Sarah asked, Do you want to stop in? No, let's not. I was curious how they were doing, but it was better to just let the past be the past. After 2 days in Maple Creek, we headed back to Columbus. The renovations on our second restaurant were nearly complete. Following Sarah's idea, we had designed it to be warm and inviting. Soft lighting, walls decorated with vintage family photos, and lots of plants. It really did feel like a home. The day before the grand opening, we were putting on the finishing touches. Sarah was arranging silverware while I was doing a final check of the kitchen equipment. Jack, I have an idea, she said suddenly. What's that? What if we added a hometown favorites section to the menu? For classic, home-style dishes. Like what? Like Mom's tomato soup and grilled cheese, or Dad's barbecue ribs, or Grandma's chicken noodle soup. That's a brilliant idea. I loved it. So many people working in the city missed those simple, comforting flavors from home. If we could replicate that, we'd have something special. Let's do it. We'll add them to the menu for tomorrow. Awesome. Seeing her so excited, I was struck once again by how lucky I was to have found her. Crystal would have never come up with such a valuable idea. She would have complained that the menu wasn't fancy enough or the decor wasn't high-end. But Sarah was always thinking about how to make our customers happy, how to make our business better. That was the difference. The next day, our new location opened. As predicted, the hometown favorites were a massive hit. So many customers told us the food reminded them of their childhood. The tomato soup and grilled cheese alone sold over 100 orders. Jack, this soup is incredible. It tastes exactly like my mom's, one customer told me. Yeah, I haven't had real comfort food like this in years, said another. Hearing the praise, Sarah was beaming like a kid on Christmas morning. Jack, we did it. No, you did it. This was all your idea. It was our idea, she corrected, her eyes shining with happiness. In that moment, I knew we weren't just lovers. We were the best partners I could ever ask for. That night, we were celebrating the successful opening at the new restaurant. Jack, Sarah began, I want to talk about our wedding. What about it? I don't want a huge, extravagant wedding. I'd rather have something small and intimate, with just our families. Why? Because I think a wedding should be about two people making a promise, not about putting on a show. And she paused. I don't want to remind you of what happened last time. She was talking about Crystal. I was so touched by her thoughtfulness. Sarah, whatever you want will do. It's your day. So, a small wedding with just our closest family and friends? Like a little party. Perfect. She was right. A wedding didn't need to be a spectacle. The only thing that mattered was the love between two people. We didn't need to prove anything to anyone. We just needed each other. We decided to have our wedding in the fall. We booked a beautiful lodge in Hocking Hills and invited only our parents and a few of our closest friends. In total, there were fewer than 20 people. It was a world away from the massive wedding I planned with Crystal, but it felt infinitely more meaningful. The day before the ceremony, Sarah's parents arrived from out of town. They were humble, hard-working people, and you could see where Sarah got her kindness from. Jack, "We know Sarah is in good hands with you," her father said. "She's always been a sensible girl. We just hope you two will build a happy life together." "I'll take great care of her, sir. I promise." Sarah's mother took my hand. "Son, Sarah told us you've been through a lot, but I can tell you're a good man. Don't dwell on the past. Focus on the wonderful present you have." "Thank you, ma'am. I will." That night, we stayed in separate rooms, honoring the tradition of not seeing each other before the wedding. As I lay in bed, the thought of becoming Sarah's husband filled me with a calm sense of anticipation. It was nothing like the anxiety I'd felt 3 years ago. Back then, I think I subconsciously knew something was wrong. I knew Crystal and I weren't right for each other. But with Sarah, everything felt right. The next morning, I was up early. Even though it was a small wedding, we still wanted it to be special. By 9 o'clock, our guests had arrived. My parents, Sarah's parents, my cousin Brandon, and a handful of friends. The atmosphere was warm and joyful. At 10, the ceremony began. Sarah, in a simple yet elegant white dress, walked towards me on her father's arm. She wore minimal makeup, highlighting a natural beauty that Crystal, with all her efforts, could never match. "Jack, today I'm giving you my daughter," her father said as he placed her hand in mine. "I know you'll make her happy." "Thank you, sir." Brandon's friend, who was officiating, kept the mood light and personal. "Friends and family, we are gathered here today to celebrate the union of Jack and Sarah." Even though it was a simple ceremony, it was full of heart and genuine emotion. "Jack, do you take Sarah to be your wife, to have and hold, in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, to love and to cherish, from this day forward?" "Edo." "And Sarah, do you take Jack to be your husband, to have and to hold, in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, to love and to cherish, from this day forward?" "Edo." As we exchanged rings, I saw tears in Sarah's eyes, tears of pure happiness. "I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." I leaned in and gently kissed my wife. In that moment, I felt like I was truly starting my life anew. After the ceremony, we had a wonderful lunch at the lodge. The whole affair was relaxed and joyful, free from the stress and exhaustion of a large wedding. It was just a celebration with the people who mattered most. To Jack and Sarah, may you have a lifetime of happiness. Thank you all for being here. After lunch, we took photos around the beautiful grounds. The autumn sunlight filtered through the trees, and Sarah's smile was radiant. "Jack, I am so happy," she whispered. "Me too." That night, after our guests had left, we stayed at the lodge for a mini honeymoon. The next day, we returned to Columbus to resume our normal lives, but everything felt different. We were husband and wife. Sarah moved into my apartment, and we began building our life together. She had a knack for making a space feel like a home, adding small, thoughtful touches everywhere. "Jack, I planted some herbs on the balcony. It'll make the whole place smell fresh." "That's great. And I got some new art for the walls. What do you think?" The pieces she'd chosen were warm and cheerful, just like her. "I love them all." "Good. Oh, and I want to hang one of our wedding photos in the living room." "Of course." Soon, a large framed photo of us from our wedding day hung in the center of the living room wall. Seeing it every day when I came home filled me with a quiet joy. A month after we were married, our business was still growing. We started planning for a third location. "Jack, I think we should start a delivery service," Sarah suggested. "Delivery?" "Yeah, a lot of people are too busy to come in and eat. If we offer delivery, we could reach a whole new customer base." Sarah was always full of practical, brilliant ideas. "But the packaging and delivery fees will add to our costs." "I've already run the numbers. If we get enough volume, it's definitely profitable. Plus, it's great advertising for the restaurants." I thought it over. She was right. "Okay, let's give it a shot." "Awesome. I'll start researching the delivery platforms tomorrow." Watching her, I felt that now familiar wave of gratitude. If I were still with Crystal, she never would have been involved in the business side of things. She would have only complained that I worked too much. But Sarah wasn't just my partner in life. She was my partner in business. A week later, our delivery service went live. On the first day, we got over 50 orders. Sarah was running around like crazy, but she had the biggest smile on her face. "Jack, people love the delivery, especially the hometown favorites." "Really?" "Yes. One guy called just to thank us." He said our tomato soup tasted exactly like his mom's. Hearing that gave me a huge sense of accomplishment. All our hard work was paying off, and none of it would have been possible without Sarah's support. That night, I held her close. Sarah, thank you. For what? For making my life so wonderful. That's what a wife is for. We're a team. No, it's more than that. A lot of people wouldn't do what you do. I thought of Crystal, who had never supported my dreams, only made demands. Jack, let the past go. We're looking forward now, Sarah said softly, always knowing what I was thinking. She was never jealous or insecure about my past. She just accepted it and gently guided me toward the future. I love you, Sarah. I love you too. We held each other tightly. In that moment, I knew I had found my true home. Life was perfect. 6 months into our marriage, we had 3 thriving restaurants and a booming delivery business. We were becoming well-known in the Columbus food scene. A local magazine even did a feature on us, calling us the new power couple of comfort food. During the interview, Sarah was poised and articulate. I think the key to working together as a couple is mutual respect and support. We're not just husband and wife. We're best friends and business partners. The reporter asked me, Jack, what's your secret to success? It's simple, I said, looking at Sarah. Cook with heart, treat your customers like family, and marry the right woman. She blushed, her smile sweeter than any dessert on our menu. The article brought in even more business. Life was good. One afternoon, I was in the kitchen prepping for the dinner rush when one of the hostesses came back. Boss, there's a woman here to see you. Who is it? She said she's an old friend. I figured it was someone from Maple Creek and walked out to the front. But it wasn't a friend. It was Crystal. She stood by the entrance, wearing a plain black coat. She looked tired and thin, a shadow of the vibrant girl I once knew. I froze for a second before walking over. What are you doing here? Jack, she said, her voice trembling. Can we talk? What is there to talk about? Please, just give me 10 minutes. That's all I ask. I noticed a few customers looking our way. Let's go outside. We walked to the small park next to the restaurant. Okay, what is it? Crystal looked at me, her eyes brimming with tears. Jack, I was wrong. It's a little late for that, don't you think? I know it is, but I have to say it. I truly know that I was wrong. She started to sob. Julian, he lied to me. What do you mean? He's not an artist. He's a con man. He told me he'd help me start a new life in the city. But as soon as we got there, he showed his true colors. I listened in silence. He didn't have a studio. He lived in a tiny, run-down apartment. And he had other women. I was just another one of his conquests. And then, we had a huge fight, and I left. But I have no one here, and I can't find a decent job. The last 6 months have been hell. She wiped her tears. Jack, it's only now that I realize you were the one who truly loved me. Julian just wanted me for my looks, but you wanted to spend your life with me. Listening to her, I felt a strange mix of pity and detachment. But forgiveness? That was impossible. Crystal, what do you want from me? I want to come back. To you. What? Jack, can we start over? Please? I swear I will never, ever betray you again. I stared at her, a coldness spreading through my chest. Crystal, have you forgotten something? What? I'm married. She looked stunned. Married? To who? To my wife. But I heard you were just engaged. That was months ago. We've been married for half a year. The color drained from Crystal's face. Half a year? Yes. Then, what am I supposed to do? Her question infuriated me. What are you supposed to do? Why is that my problem? Jack, you can't be so cruel. We grew up together. Doesn't that mean anything to you anymore? It was you who threw that away, Crystal. I know I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. She fell to her knees. Jack, please forgive me. I have nowhere else to go. Seeing her kneeling on the ground, I felt a whirlwind of emotions. This was the woman I had once loved more than life itself. Now, she was a complete stranger to me. Get up, Crystal. The past is the past. So you forgive me? She asked, a hopeful look on her face. I don't hate you anymore, but there's no chance of us getting back together. Why? Because I have a wife whom I love, and because we were never right for each other in the first place. Not right for each other? We were together for 10 years. Time doesn't equal compatibility. If we were right for each other, you never would have cheated. Crystal fell silent. Besides, I'm happy now, happier than I've ever been. My wife is an amazing woman. Is she better than me? The question made me pause. Yes, she is. For one, she would never betray me. Crystal flinched as if I'd slapped her. Jack, how can you be so heartless? I'm not being heartless, Crystal. I'm just being honest. I looked her in the eye. You know, my wife never asks me for anything. Instead, she's always thinking of ways to help me, to build our life together. She'll work late into the night to help our business succeed. She'll stand up for me. She gets excited about our future. And you? All you ever did was demand more. More expensive gifts, fancier dinners, more attention. You never once did anything for me. That's the difference. Crystal just stared at me, speechless. I can change. It's too late. Just then, Sarah came out of the restaurant. She saw Crystal, paused for a second, then walked over to us. Jack, is everything okay? I put my arm around Sarah's shoulder. It's fine. Just an old acquaintance. Sarah looked at Crystal, and understanding dawned on her face. You must be Crystal. Crystal nodded, her expression a mix of shame and jealousy. I'm Sarah, Jack's wife, Sarah said, her voice calm and steady. I know all about you. Jack told me everything. Then you. I don't hate you. Everyone has the right to make their own choices. You chose to leave, and I chose to stay. We're both living with the consequences of those choices. Sarah's words left Crystal with nothing to say. Crystal, if you're in trouble, we can help you get back on your feet. But if you're here to try and break up our marriage, that's not going to happen. Jack is happy now. If you ever truly loved him, you'd want that for him, not try to ruin it. Sarah's words were direct, but fair, and Crystal had no response. Let's go. Honey, I said to Sarah. Wait, Crystal called out. Jack, one last question. Are you truly happy? I looked at Sarah, my amazing wife, standing by my side. I turned back to Crystal and nodded firmly. I am. Happier than I have ever been in my life. A single tear finally rolled down Crystal's cheek. I see. We turned and walked away. From behind us, we heard a faint, Jack, I hope you'll be happy. I didn't look back. Once we were a little farther away, Sarah asked, Are you okay? I'm fine. How did you feel, seeing her again? I thought for a moment, like I was looking at a stranger. Really? And Sarah? Thank you for what you said back there. What did I say? All of it. You were amazing. I was just telling the truth. Jack, I'm not insecure about your past, because I know that in the end, you chose me. I stopped walking and pulled her into a tight hug. I love you, Sarah. I love you too. That night, I finally let go of the last remnants of my past with Crystal. From now on, my heart belonged only to Sarah. After that confrontation, I thought the chapter with Crystal was finally closed. I was wrong. A few days later, she showed up again, this time waiting at the bottom of our apartment building. Sarah saw her on her way home from work. Sarah, I need to talk to you, Crystal said. About what? About Jack. When Sarah got upstairs, she told me what had happened. Jack, Crystal was waiting for me downstairs. What did she say? She said she's not giving up on you. She said you two have 20 years of history, and that I'm just an outsider who doesn't stand a chance. My blood boiled. How dare she? She also said she's going to stay in Columbus until you take her back. It was a threat. Sarah, you don't believe her, do you? Of course not. Jack, I trust you completely. Good. But, Sarah continued, I don't want her harassing us. We need to deal with this, once and for all. I saw a new, steely resolve in her eyes. The next day, Sarah called Crystal and arranged to meet her at our first restaurant. I wanted to go with her, but she insisted. Jack, this is between us. It'll be better if you're not there. I'll wait nearby, just in case. Okay. At 3 o'clock, Crystal arrived at the restaurant. She looked even more worn out than before. Sarah, what do you want? Sit down. Let's talk, Sarah said, pouring Crystal a cup of tea. Crystal, I know you're in pain. I can't imagine how it feels to lose someone you love. What would you know about it? You're the winner here. It's easy to be gracious when you've won. I'm not a winner. I'm just a woman who loves Jack, the same way you once did. This seemed to surprise Crystal. But there's one key difference between us. What's that? I would do anything for Jack's happiness. You only ever wanted him to do things for your happiness. The words were harsh, but they were true. That's not true. I love Jack. Do you? Then why did you cheat on him? Crystal had no answer. Crystal, we're both women. I don't want to make things harder for you. But if you continue to harass my husband, I will not be so understanding. What are you going to do? Jack has built a good reputation in this city. We have friends. We have connections. If I wanted to make your life here very difficult, it wouldn't be hard. Sarah's voice was calm, but the threat was unmistakable. Are you threatening me? I'm advising you. You have no right. I have every right. I'm protecting my marriage. Sarah stood up. Crystal, I'm saying this for the last time. Leave Jack alone. Leave this city. It's for the best for everyone. And if I don't, then you'll find out. With that, Sarah turned and walked out, leaving Crystal sitting there, pale and furious. That night, Sarah told me everything. Jack, maybe I was too harsh. No, you were perfect. That's exactly what she needed to hear. You don't think I was too aggressive? I think you were amazing. You were protecting our marriage, and I've never been more proud. I pulled her into a hug. Sarah, I'm so lucky to have you. I will never let anyone threaten our happiness, Jack. For the next few days, we heard nothing from Crystal. I thought Sarah's words had finally gotten through to her. But then, a week later, I realized she had just changed tactics. A regular customer pulled me aside. Jack, I thought you should know, someone is spreading nasty rumors about your restaurant online. He showed me posts on a local food forum claiming our kitchens were dirty, our service was terrible, and that I was an unethical business owner. I immediately knew who was behind it. Sarah, I think Crystal is trying to ruin us. I had a feeling she wouldn't give up that easily. That woman will do anything. What do? We call the police. The police. Spreading malicious lies to harm a business is illegal. It's called libel. We have every right to defend ourselves. Sarah was right. We went to the police station and filed a report for commercial defamation. The police took it seriously and launched an investigation. It didn't take them long to trace the online posts back to Crystal. She had created fake accounts to spread lies about our restaurants on every review site and social media platform she could find. It was a clear-cut case. The police brought her in for questioning. Faced with the evidence, she confessed. I just wanted to get back at them, she told the police. Why should Jack be so happy when my life is in ruins? When I heard what she'd said, I was stunned. I couldn't believe the girl I grew up with had turned into someone so consumed by revenge. Was this really the same Crystal I had known my whole life? Sarah, was I just blind? How could I have ever loved someone like that? People change, Jack. Maybe she wasn't always like this, but this is who she is now. Thank God we broke up. I can't imagine what my life would be like if I had actually married her. See, sometimes a terrible thing can turn out to be a blessing in disguise. Crystal was held in custody for a few weeks. After she was released, she disappeared. We heard she finally left Columbus and moved somewhere else. I hoped, for her sake, that she would get the help she needed and turn her life around. This whole ordeal, as stressful as it was, brought Sarah and me even closer. We had faced a threat together and come out stronger on the other side. Sarah, thank you for fighting for us. That's what a team does. We protect each other. You know, I said, after all this, I am more certain than ever that you are the love of my life. Why? Because to protect our happiness, you became a warrior. All Crystal could do with her pain was try to hurt others. That's the difference, Sarah said with a smile. We're going to be even happier now, aren't we? Yes, we are. I held her tight, feeling an overwhelming sense of peace and security. With a wife like Sarah by my side, I knew we could handle anything. Our love had been tested, and our marriage was stronger than ever. 10 with Crystal gone for good, life finally returned to normal. Business was booming, and we were already scouting locations for a 4th restaurant. But the best news was yet to come. Sarah was pregnant. The moment she told me, I was speechless with joy. Jack, we're going to be parents. Are you serious? I am. I went to the doctor today. I'm 2 months along. I swept her up into my arms and spun her around. This is the best news ever. Careful. Don't drop the baby, she laughed. I gently set her down. Sorry, I'm just so excited. Me too. That night, we stayed up late, talking about the baby. Do you want a boy or a girl? I asked. As long as the baby is healthy, I'll be happy. Me too. But if it's a girl, I hope she's as beautiful and kind as you. And if it's a boy, then he better be as responsible and caring as his father, Sarah finished. She smiled. You are a very responsible man. I have to be. I have a family to protect now, and I will for the rest of my life. From that day on, I hovered over Sarah constantly. I wouldn't let her lift anything heavy or get overtired. I took over most of her duties at the restaurants so she could rest. Jack, you don't have to be so overprotective. I'm not made of glass. You're carrying our child. You are the most precious thing in the world to me. But you can't run everything by yourself. I can manage. We have a great team in place now. It was true. After 2 years, we had built a solid management team, and I could trust our store managers to handle the day-to-day operations. Pregnancy made Sarah even more radiant and gentle. I'd often find her resting a hand on her belly, whispering to the baby, "Hi in there. You're daddy, and I love you so much. You just focus on growing big and strong." Watching her, my heart would swell with love. This was the life I had always dreamed of, a wife I adored, a child on the way, a successful career. It was perfect. Sometimes, I'd wonder what my life would be like if Crystal had never cheated. We probably would have gotten married, but I know I wouldn't be this happy. Crystal would never have been the supportive, loving partner that Sarah is. She never would have been my teammate. Losing her was the best thing that ever happened to me. It led me to Sarah. When Sarah was 5 months pregnant, we went for an ultrasound. The doctor confirmed it was a boy. "Congratulations, you have a healthy baby boy on the way." We were ecstatic. "Jack, our son. On the way home, we started brainstorming names. "What do you think of Cole?" I suggested. "Or maybe Ryan?" "I like Cole," Sarah said. "It sounds strong." Cole Ford. Cole Ford it is. Our son. Just thinking his name filled me with excitement for the future. For the last 3 months of Sarah's pregnancy, I delegated almost all of my work responsibilities to focus on her. "Jack, the restaurants will fall apart without you," she'd protest. "They'll be fine. Right now, you and the baby are my only priority. Our business can wait. This moment can't." Her eyes would fill with tears. "You're a good man, Jack Ford. I just love my wife." Finally, the day came. Sarah went into labor late one night, and I rushed her to the hospital. "Jack, I'm scared," she whispered. "Don't be. I'm right here with you." The hours I spent in the waiting room were the most nerve-wracking of my life. I paced the hallway, praying that everything would be okay. Finally, a nurse came out, smiling. "Congratulations, Dad. You have a healthy baby boy, 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Mom and baby are both doing great." Tears of relief and joy streamed down my face. "Thank you. Thank you so much." When I finally saw Sarah holding her newborn son, the feeling was indescribable. "Sarah, you were so brave." "It was all worth it," she said, her voice weak but happy. "Look at him, Jack." Our son, Cole, was sleeping peacefully, his tiny face red and wrinkled. He was perfect. "Who do you think he looks like?" I asked. "He has your eyebrows," she said. "But my nose." We just sat there, staring at our son, our hearts overflowing with love. He was the product of our love, the future of our family. From that moment on, I knew my life had a new purpose. I was not just Sarah's husband. I was Cole's father. I would spend the rest of my life protecting them, loving them, and making them happy. During the first few weeks, I took care of Sarah and Cole myself. It was exhausting, but I was happier than I'd ever been. "Jack, you've lost weight," Sarah said, concerned. "It's okay. Taking care of you two is the best job in the world. I'm so lucky I married you. I'm the lucky one." We smiled at each other. Looking back on the crisis 3 years ago, it truly felt like a blessing in disguise. If Crystal hadn't betrayed me, I never would have met Sarah. And without Sarah, I would never have known this kind of happiness. Fate works in mysterious ways. Sometimes it has to break you down to build you back up better and stronger than before. Now, I have a wife I love, a beautiful son, and a thriving business. This is the life I was meant to live, and I will cherish every single moment of it. It all started on that one terrible night, the night that ripped my world apart but ultimately set me free. The night that, ironically, I now have to be thankful for. Cole was sleeping soundly in my arms, and Sarah was watching us, her face glowing with love. Sunlight streamed through the window, bathing us in a warm, golden light. This was my new life. This was my real life. And the woman who betrayed me, she was just a ghost from a past that could no longer touch me. Yendi,